Well, nearly 3 million men and women have volunteered to serve in our armed forces since the attacks of 9/11. These soldiers, sailors, airmen, Marines, and Coast Guard left their families and risked their lives to fight for our freedoms overseas. But many are having to fight for jobs when they come home. That's because the skills they've attained in the service often don't count towards the certification needed for employment. But the head of Oklahoma's primary job training organization hopes to change that. Earlier, I sat down with Phil Berkenbile, the state director for Oklahoma CareerTech. So, Dr. Berkenbile, when our state soldiers return home in the coming months, they really face a lot of hurdles, one of which is just getting a job. What do you hope to do to help improve that situation?
Well, we hope to fast track that. In years past, when soldiers came out of the military, they've had to go back to school and receive additional training and to get their certifications. And their military training in a lot of cases hasn't counted, or they didn't document it well enough. And what we're trying to do is, before those soldiers come back later this spring, is to get that documentation in place, get their experience documented, and so when they get out, hopefully working with the different organizations around the state, whether you're talking about the Department of Public Safety, the FAA, the Department of Health, they can go into a good paying job without a lot of the hurdles that have been there before.
And give me some examples of some of these certifications that they did have to get and what type of jobs we're actually talking about.
Well, let's start with probably one of the most common ones that we're looking at is a truck driver that's been doing convoy duty in Afghanistan since they've been over there. If we can document that experience and those skills, then really basically all they have to do is come in and take a pre-test and make sure that everything they've learned that they remember, and then take the post-test and get their CDL, which they'll have to pass a drug test and take a physical, but it'll speed up the process by about a month. Plus, they'll be able to count the experience that they had over there when they apply for a job. And a lot of our companies are looking for experienced military types, men and women, in these positions. As far as a medic goes, any of them that have been a medic have usually received their training at Fort Sam Houston in Texas. And if they've got that training documented and can get a letter from their commanding officer documenting that, then we can fast track that into the Department of Health. We can hopefully get them a certificate with a little bit of training and get them right out into being a paramedic or an EMT on one of our ambulance services.
And they certainly do bring back home a unique skill set. What do we need to do, or what needs to happen to make this happen?
Well, I think it's a variety of things. One, I think it's all the government organizations in Oklahoma and the federal side working together, whether you're talking about the Department of Public Safety, Department of Health, Department of Veterans Affairs, CareerTech, and some of the trade unions, and removing the barriers, helping those people be identified, and identifying the jobs. Also working with the companies. Like I said, a lot of companies are looking for experienced military types to employ, and in fact, they put them at the top of their list when they interview for a job. And I think anything we can do to help them to speed up that process only says thank you for your service to the state of Oklahoma.
Yeah, and it sounds like just a great initiative for the people that do serve our country. Dr. Berkenbile, thank you so much.
Thank you.